Oh, 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 oh. Ooh. This is so cool. I love this. That might be my favourite, possibly maybe my favourite song from Björk. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a singer-songwriter, music producer person, and today I'm going to be reacting to Post by Björk. Let's go. Cool. Hi guys, sorry it's been so long since I've done a Björk album. As the first one back, I figured I would put a vote on to see which of you got, like, which one I should do next. Because I'm not going in order. And you guys voted for Post. I really thought it was going to be Volnacura, but there we go. I've heard a couple of these songs before because I did them in my Björk discovery videos. So if you want to see my first ever reaction to those, then make sure to go and check the link. But yeah, if you are new to this channel and you love reactions that really dig into the artistry behind the music, then you're going to like this and you should probably subscribe. But also, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I have a Patreon where you can watch my videos uncut. You can actually watch this video with no cuts. You can also watch my videos early. And if you want, you can actually request me to react to any specific songs or any full albums that you like. Without any further ado, let's get on to this. So let's start with song number 1. This is Army of Me, which I have heard. Yeah, link is on the screen. Cool, let's go. It's always good to listen to these ones, the ones I have heard before, but obviously the context of the album often kind of changes my view on them, you know? This one really has the 90s industrial feel, doesn't it? It's very key Björk sound. Oh yeah, I remember this one. She's saying you need to get up and sort your shit out. Get it together. Once more. See, this song, I don't know about the rest of the album so far, but this song particularly definitely has more of a typical hook. It's a little bit more towards pop than Björk ends up becoming. There's nothing wrong and Army of Me. This song is so fierce. It's got such an edge to it. It's punky kind of nature, I think. It's a punky attitude, you know. It's too exhausted. Army of Me. I love the way in which she represents her anger through the sounds that she picks. She is thinking about every single element of the song and how she can convey that specific emotion, which is something that from every Björk song I've heard, I've really appreciated, you know. I love that ending. Oh, it went right into the next song. Oh, I love an album that goes right into the next song. Yeah, really good. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the emotion that she's conveying. It's not tender. It's not super upbeat, but it's angry and it's pointed. If you complain once more, you will meet an army of me. If you continue to sit down and not do anything, then you will face my wrath. You know, when I heard it the first time, I think I thought that the song was maybe she was singing to a specific person, to maybe a sibling or something, telling them to get up and sort their shit out. But now I get more of this sense of maybe she's talking to the public. It could be environmental, you know, it could be saying, you know, don't complain about the heat, don't complain about climate change, because actually, you know, it's part of your own doing and you're not doing anything about it. You know, there's a frustration that's really key with that song. And that frustration, yeah, carries through not only the lyrics and the way that she sings it, but every instrument, every single sound. You know, it's really key for her, I think, to represent a specific emotion through every single sound. Something that really inspires my music, you know. Cool, let's go on to song number 2. Again, this one was in my review video. Check it out. I think it was in the second one. This is Hyperballad. I think it was. But I love the drums. Is this the one where she sings about throwing stuff off the mountain? Yeah, it is. Yeah. I remember this one, yeah. I think she's trying to create maybe some sort of mysterious energy with this song. love that this one takes it, like, still has like that heavy kind of edge to it, but also has more softness to it, you know. It has that kind of that brown noise. The brown noise, whatever that noise is, like it kind of cuts through and creates something that's similar, but like an evolution. Like there's more electronic sound design in it, and it's softer.
Still throwing things out on their way down.
Ding. I quite like how this song is quite visual, you know, like you can kind of see her like picking up these little things and just going to the edge of the cliff and just chucking them off, like. There's a real lightness to it, despite the fact that some of the lyrics are kind of dark, you know. But I think the lightness comes from like unloading stuff, you know. She's dropping all the worthless stuff off the cliff and unloading herself, you know. And doing it before this person wakes up, almost like to save them from the heaviness that she's feeling, you know. Save again. I like the pace of it here. I also love that it changes up like dramatically halfway through, you know, and becomes almost like a 90s rave song, you know. It's almost like ahead of its time garage, this little section, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think in the late 90s and early noughties, these sounds would go on to dominate pop, like mainstream music, especially in the UK. Beautiful strings again. Somber, actually, the end section. Yeah, that's such a beautiful song, actually. There's like so many elements of that I really enjoy. I enjoy that it kind of is a bit more poppy. I enjoy that it kind of like has tender moments. I enjoy that it has like dance rave moments. Ultimately, the feeling that she's trying to connect us to is like a kind of lightness, a relinquishing of heavy things, a relinquishing of like messiness and dirtiness, so that you can kind of be better, you know. And the sound kind of does kind of have that jubilant kind of feel to it. I think that's what she's going for. But I love how like actually some of the lyrics kind of really cut through that to actually make it feel quite dark, you know. Like the visual of things falling off the cliff and smashing into a million pieces are actually quite kind of vicious, you know. Which it kind of like adds an element of alarm. Yeah, and elevates it, you know. Yeah. Oh, oof, ah, e. Yeah, so great. And then it ends on a more tender moment. So I think to me it seems to be like, you know, it's called Hyperballad as well. You know, I think the idea is being that like there's love there. It's kind of her own version of a love song. And I think that, yeah, the visual is her like letting go of the clutter in order to be better for someone that she loves, you know. Let's go on to the next one. This is number 3, The Modern Things. I love that the bass, you can actually almost like hear the cabinet vibrating.
Cars and such always existed. Waiting for the
interesting, okay. All these modern things have been waiting for the right moment.
Noises of dinosaurs.
I hope this song is kind of simple. Whoa. Gosh, she just loves coating her drums in like heavy distortion, doesn't she? Almost like they're being played through like a really shitty speaker. I like the pace of this one. It's a little bit more. Yeah, there's kind of almost like a jazz nature to the rhythm of it, you know. Obviously the sounds are not jazz at all, but do you know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of pace and rhythm to the songs so far in this album, especially compared to Volnicura and Homogenic, that are a little bit more, not Volnicura, Vespertine, they're a little bit more like open, wash, ambient kind of things in a lot of places, you know? This one is like firmly dum. Whoa, nice. I love like the desperation that Björk can get in her voice. There's something in the crack that she does there. It's like that makes it really like desperate, yeah. She's a vocalist who's completely unafraid to sound ugly. And I don't mean that her voice sounds ugly at all. There's beauty in that, you know. but she is completely like free. She's not trying to sing perfectly or beautifully, you know, and there's a lot of emotion in that, you know. Ooh, cool. Am I in the forest now? I suppose that kind of connects to this idea of the ancient past, doesn't it, you know? That sounds like the record skipping. That really does sound like the record skipping. Do you reckon she did that on purpose? So people kind of look at it and be like, what? Oh no, my record isn't skipping. Actually, I suppose this would have been like the beginning of CDs, really, wouldn't it? My parents were getting CDs in the late 80s, but that was in Japan, so, you know, they were a bit ahead, weren't they? Anyway, what was I saying? Really enjoyed the vibe of that one. Like, I like that it kind of like had like a tumbling feel to it that was like, kept it going, kept it moving. Yeah, I loved her voice in that one particularly. It seems to be this like strange story of like, almost like vehicles and modern things waiting to be discovered and them actually kind of existing the whole time. And she talks about them as if they're like sentient things, like thinking like, okay, dinosaurs can fuck off. I want to come out and drive around, you know? So strange. You know, I mean, obviously. Let's look at the lyrics. All the modern things like cars and such have always existed. They've just been waiting in a mountain. So it was almost like they're there waiting to be like excavated, you know, for the right moment, listening to the irritating noises of dinosaurs and people dabbling outside. Engin fylgist alveg med. Let's have a look at, see if I can find a translation. No one pays much attention to us, the sun sets. Nobody knows how to pull out the best of me. It's sunny when he delivers a vital breath. He bites me. Yes, he approaches me. He follows after me, waits. He flies by me. All these modern things have existed. They've just been waiting to come out and multiply and take over. It's their turn now. That's a strange one. Maybe she's like comparing herself to like almost like feeling undiscovered, feeling like the best of her hasn't been discovered. And she's comparing it to like this like story of modern machines almost waiting to be created. Things, it's like an idea of potential. I feel like she's like sorting through the emotions of like, what is potential? What is my potential? What is the potential of, what was the potential of the things yet to be discovered? And what is the potential of things that are now yet to be discovered that we don't know about, you know? Maybe? Yeah. As with all these, would love to hear what you think, what Björk said about it, all of the above. Let me know in the comments. I always learn so much from reading your comments, so. Okay, let's go on to the song number 4. This is It's Oh So Quiet, shh, which is obviously I've heard before, but let's just have fun. Shh.
It's oh so quiet. Shh.
This is such a strange song to have in the middle of this album, isn't it? A, it's a cover, and B, it's the 4th song on what has been like a kind of industrial, strange discovery of different things. Yeah, it's just random, isn't it? I wonder if this was like a, yes, you can do whatever you want, but we want you to do a song that's going to be popular from the label type situation, you know? Maybe the label like didn't have enough confidence to just let it be just an album of just the experimental stuff, you know?
It's no mistake.
I love that. I don't think I've ever actually heard the original. This is the one that everyone remembers, you know? It's so random to have like American jazz standard on a Björk album, but there we go. I guess there's not that much to say about that one, apart from the fact that it sounds so incongruous to the rest of the album. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a brilliant song, and her performance of it, I think, is what sells it, you know? She is proving herself to be this artist, this vocalist, who is not afraid to just sound like off the planet, you know? She's just lets it all hang out, and there's so much freedom in that, and I think that's probably what people really connect to with that song, is that freedom, just you know, that is completely sold by Björk and her performance style, you know. Let's go on to the next song. This is Enjoy. Ooh. Oh, industrial drums, highly compressed. This is cool. Wow, what an interesting loop. That bass is almost like difficult to hear where it is, like the tune, you know. I love the level of compression on this because it's like so like, you know, it's like using compression as an art tool rather than just like a, you know, a tool for cleaning up. It's cool. Very cool. Ooh, I love that rhythm. Yeah. I love the way in which she uses rhythm, but like always does it with such like alternative sounds, like to create something totally unique. Usually you use something quite like punchy to make that kind of rhythm, you know, but it's different. I love it. It's really cool. Is this song about sex? It's quite dark though, isn't it? Like, a song called Enjoy, you wouldn't expect to kind of have like a slightly dissonant harmonic thing, you know, and like really heavy distortion laden things, you know. That's like my favourite noise. It's almost like a screech sound, like a car screeching that's been cut off. Do you know what I mean? I always end up on my phone noting down production ideas that I've had whilst I'm doing these reactions. Just gonna finish writing down this idea. Apologies. I love that when I listen to these Björk albums, it always sparks off these creative ideas in me, and I'm like, I have to write those down so that like when I go back on my phone to like come up with ideas, I've got some of them saved. Okay. That song, I think it might have been about sex, but I'm gonna look at the lyrics in a sec. Yeah, love the use of rhythm in the production in that. It was a little bit less harmonically full and more like to do with sound, which I thought was quite interesting, and a lot of the sound really drowned out her voice, you know, especially compared to some of the other songs on the album. Felt like her voice was almost like more like a background instrument than the drums and the bass were the important thing. The use of that bass, which seems to be going ahead despite all the different harmony that was going on, it was almost like the bass was like, I don't give a shit what harmony's going on, I'm just gonna do my own thing, because there were points where like the bass did not mesh with the harmony in a beautiful way, which was obviously a very intentional thing, and I suppose actually creates a sense of drive and creates a real sense of like ploughing through despite maybe resistance. Maybe that's what the song is kind of about. I don't know. Maybe pushing through sex even though you don't like it. I don't know. Maybe. I wish I want to stay here. I wish this be enough. I wish I only love you. I wish simplicity. Look at the speed out there. It magnetizes me to it, and I have no fear. I'm only into this to enjoy. So it sounds like she's having sex with somebody. Maybe she's like trying to enjoy sex with people that she doesn't love. Maybe she's almost like lying to herself within the sex, saying like, yes, I love, like almost like telling herself she loves this person to enjoy it more. I don't know. I wish I'd only look and didn't have to touch. I wish I'd only smell this and didn't have to taste. How can I ignore? This is sex without touching. I'm going to explore. I'm only into this to enjoy. There's a sense of voyeurism. I wish I'd only have to look and didn't feel like I had to touch, you know. There's a real like kind of dichotomy between what she's wishing and what is actually happening. Yeah, maybe it's she's like watching pornography. I don't know. It's very interesting. I like how simple it is, you know. But she's almost like saying like there's like a biological condition that she has to go by that she's almost like wishing wasn't true. Maybe she doesn't want to cheat on somebody, but she feels like she has to, or I don't know. Let me know what you think. Okay, next song. This is You've Been Flirting Again.
She said was true.
All she said was true. This is a very different sound. Very quiet.
Give her some space. What she meant was good.
She had good intentions. She was trying to be truthful to herself. I wonder who she's singing about and what they did.
That she meant was good. How you reacted was right.
It was right. It's almost like saying, you know, you're both right, but you need to actually have patience with one another, you know. It's definitely a much simpler song. Love that she's going string heavy. You know, I love a string. She's really not afraid to completely go off-piste. Ooh. Wow. Interesting way to end that song. Yeah, she's very much not afraid to go off-piste with her sounds. Like, you know, I mean, obviously it's Björk. But like, you know, she's set up almost like a sonic sound for this album, and then she's gone, nah, I'm going to do a string interval 2-minute song in the middle, which was very tender. It almost seemed like post-argument. It's like, but like almost like a mediator, like Björk is being the mediator. She's like, all that she said was true. Everything that she said was like, she was being honest with you. And yes, the way you're reacting is okay. You're allowed to react that way, but please now give her some time and patience, you know? So maybe it's like something she wished she could say towards two people who are having an argument. Maybe it's family members or something. And I like that the music represents that calmness. She's trying to bring calmness to the situation, right? And the sound of the song is very calming. Again, she knows how to make the sound tell the story. Oh, that's a box quote, innit? Maybe I'll get that tattooed on me. Or maybe I should use that as my box quote. Making the sound tell the story. Okay. All that she said was true. Give her some time, give her some space. All that she ever meant was good. So she didn't mean to hurt you. Give her some time, give her some space. How you reacted was right. Give her some time, give her some space. So it's, what I said. Maybe with the name you've been flirting again, maybe it's like, that's what the argument was about. Maybe this person was flirting with somebody and it's caused an argument. Love it. Cool. Let's go on to the next one. This is Isobel. More strings. Beautiful. Oh, very cinematic. Almost Disney sounding. Beautiful. Oh. War drums. Yeah. Oh. This is cool. Oh my god, I'm so into this. It does sound like we're in the forest, doesn't it? Like there's kind of tribal energy to it. Ooh, nice. Oh, and the strings are back. Ah, this is so cool. Oh, I'm really into this. Is that a creature called Lust? Is that what she said? I love the kind of like jungly kind of... this is so cool. I love this. Yeah, like a jungle tribal war drum type thing, but then like these beautiful soaring strings just like break through. It's like you're breaking through the canopy of the jungle and looking out, you know, it's really cinematic. Love it. I think this is my favorite so far, actually. I really like this. Cool. I love it, it's so cool. Bring. This is gorgeous. This might be my favourite Björk song that I've heard. Maybe. I don't know. There's so many, but like, maybe this is it. I love it. Cool. This one combines like so many elements of like what I love. Like experimental sound design that takes you to a place, like a beautiful use of like strings, vocal harmonies and stuff as well, like nice tight drum production, like all these things are like ticking off my fave things, you know. Cool. Yeah, I love it. Really, really cool. Oh my god, I love that. That really, really took me to a place and then upended it. Upset it multiple times because it takes you to like a almost like Disney romance kind of like place at the beginning with the string arrangement, and then takes you to the forest and takes you to like war. You know, it's like a sense of like, yeah, it's kind of a tribal thing, you know. It feels like you're in the jungle, maybe in the Amazon, and it's like, you know, and it's quite heavy and downward, but then it completely throws it out again and brings the strings back. But it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like you're breaking through the forest and you're like, maybe you're poking your head above the canopy and seeing that actually the forest that you're in stretches for thousands of miles and it's the most beautiful sight you've ever seen. Like, that is where it's taking me, you know. It's so wonderful. And like, yeah, I love a song that can take me to a place. That really transported me. That might be my favourite. Possibly, maybe, might. my favourite song from Björk. Maybe. Let's look at the lyrics. In a forest, pitch dark, glowed the tiniest spark. It burst into flame, like me, like me. My name Isobel, married to myself. My love Isobel, living by herself. So it's the story of a independent woman. In a heart full of dust lives a creature called lust. Ooh, surprises and scares. Like me, my name Isobel. It's almost like maybe giving me like, you know, like the female Tarzan, you know. But like independent woman living by herself in the forest in isolation. But the glowing of the spark bursting into flame, it's like the potential of a woman, but her by herself, you know, she's married to herself, she just loves herself. And the potential that loving yourself can create, you know. And she has lust, you know, she has those sexual drive, which surprises her. When she does it, she means to. Moth delivers her message, unexplained on your collar, crawling in silence, a simple excuse. In a tower of steel, nature forges a deal to raise wonderful hell, like me, like me. So there's like almost like this thing of like the world, the society breaking in on this woman's like perfect existence within this forest, and it like, you know, the tower of steel. It's very, you know, when they tear down the jungle to build to build cities, you know, it feels like she's in control. This character, wonderful. Yeah, it seems to be about like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff on this album that really seems to be about potential, fulfilling potential, and understanding the potential in somebody who you might underestimate. Yeah, maybe that's what she's trying to express within herself. Let's go on to the next one. This is Possibly Maybe. Sounds like a phone, doesn't it? Maybe Morse code? Like a connection sound. It's almost like an underwater feeling here.
Your flesh pieces the crack in me.
Say crack again. Ooh. Oh, wow.
Maybe.
Gorgeous. Oh my god. I love that background noise. That reverse, like, Hollywood string sound in a sense, isn't it? Oh, those drums. Feels like this album's really going through phases.
Possibly maybe.
Non-committal. Very non-committal. I love those sounds in the background. You know, when an orchestra kind of goes, you know, that thing. My reference being like soundtrack to like Bambi or something would have sounds like that, you know.
And disasters.
It sounds like a bit crushed thunderstorm. I love the vinyl crackle as well. I love the synth that she uses there. Gives me very like video game soundtrack vibes. Like I'm talking like obviously 90s style video games. Ooh. Wow. This is really, really, really cool. I'm really enjoying this album so far. Like for me, it's a little bit more like easier to listen to, you know, a little bit more approachable. Like Björk is definitely a challenging listen, and I think like that is what her point, you know. She wants to be a challenging listen, but this one is still challenging, but still feels a little bit more approachable. It's that beginner's Björk, you know. Some really, really, really gorgeous sounds in there that I really love. And I'd love to know how she made them. Maybe I should listen to her podcast series. Yeah, there was a lot in there that I really, really enjoyed. And this real sense of indecision. Like I loved this kind of retro sense of distortion. Like taking something retro sounding and really, yeah, distorting it. Using not only distortion, but also using like different filters and reverse sweeps and stuff and pitch bending and stuff to really kind of give it this like otherworldly kind of energy, but still linking it to that kind of classic orchestral sound that makes me think of like old Disney, like Snow White and Bambi and stuff. That's my reference because I am a 90s kid, and yes, I adore how she manages to shift a sound so that it sounds like totally unique and different, but still has a key reference point for people listening to it and takes them to that place emotionally. It's a really challenging but really fascinating and like really, really cool to listen to. I love it, yeah. Her knowledge of almost like knowing what references the listeners are going to pick out is so key here. It feels like she's like, when they hear this sound, they will feel this, they will be taken to this place. And then she's like, okay, so starting from that, where do I go? How do I bring them there? How do I use certain sounds that are recognizable, partly recognizable, so that I can take them to a place and then surprise them? That's really like what I'm getting from her use of sound design, and specifically in this song. And it's so impressive to hear, like, and really so inspiring to hear. Makes me really want to kind of think about music in a different way, you know? Like, when somebody listens to my song that has piano and guitar, where are they going to be taken to, you know? And is it somewhere that's going to be interesting and surprising for them? Or can I use piano and guitar in a way that is relatable to the listener, but maybe morphed enough so that it sounds interesting and surprising and takes them somewhere new unexpectedly, you know? It's fabulous. Your flirts find me out, teases the crack in me, smittens me with hope, possibly, maybe. So there's some sense of a beginning of a relationship here, right? They're flirting with her, and she's like, okay, maybe you can, it's like finding the crack in her armor, you know, and like opening it slightly, and gives her a little bit of hope. But she's not going into it without trepidation, you know. Obviously, possibly, maybe. As much as I definitely enjoy solitude, I wouldn't mind perhaps spending little time with you. Sometimes. It's like dipping your toe into a relationship, isn't it? But still being very scared of, like, that change. Yeah, I relate to this right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Lottery or car crash, or you'll join a cult. It's like catastrophizing, isn't it? You know, when you're scared of something. Your eruptions and disasters, I keep calm, admiring your lava. Electric shocks, I love them, with you dozen a day. But after a while I wonder, what's that love you promised me? Where is it? Oh, okay. So actually the song's developed further. My heart's burned. How can you offer me love like that? I'm exhausted. Leave me alone. Since we broke up, I'm using lipstick again. I suck my tongue in remembrance of you. Wow. So it's like actually like taking it even further. Like starts off like being like, oh, maybe I'm into this. And then develops a bit further. And then she retreats back into her shell because her heart's kind of broken again, you know. But she still remembers. Yeah. Ooh, like that. Very cool. Let's go to the next one. This is I Miss You. Ooh. Cool. Oh my god. Woo! This is kind of carnival, isn't it? I miss you, but I haven't met you yet. Have expectations on love, maybe? Whoa. It is carnival, I told you. I'm obsessed. Sort my hair out, but I don't want to miss the song. I fucking love these drums. Again, it's like that idea of like knowing the audience is going to be taken to a carnival place. Cool. And being like, what am I going to do with them when they're there, you know? Yeah. This is fabulous. Oh, yeah. I'm obsessed. This is great. This is so good. Oh, the drum track's glitching out. It sounds like it's just recorded in a room, you know? Ah. I'm obsessed. This is so good. It's like, I miss you, but it's like, yeah. Ah, sick. This is sick. Nice. Oh my god, I love it. Fabulous. This is so good. Oh god, she's gone to so many different places on this album, and it's like so brilliant. I love it. I think this maybe is my favorite. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. I'll make a decision at the end whether this is maybe the best Björk album so far. Oh, I don't know. Oh my god, I was not expecting like to be taken to carnival on this album, you know, but it's still very alternative sounding. Like there's still so much like in there that is so unique, and so it's not just all just a carnival sound. It's like she hints at the carnival sound at the beginning, which I picked up on, and then goes a bit more full out with it. But like, and actually at one section she just has those drums, you know. Still there's still like a strange kind of organ sound in there. There's still, it was almost like an accordion. There's like still like that sense of, yes, we're going to go to carnival, but where am I going to take you from there, you know? Oh god, what a master, just like sound design mastery. And when that like the bloody saxophone horns, whatever they are, like when that comes in, yeah, it's got to be a saxophone. When that comes in, I just like was like so surprised, but it just completely went off. I loved it. It really added like an extra sense of like jubilance, whatever, to it. I miss you, but I haven't met you yet. So special, but it hasn't happened yet. You're gorgeous, but I haven't met you yet. I remember, but it hasn't happened yet. And if you believe in dreams, or what is more important than a dream can come true, I will meet you. So it's like she's got manifesting love and celebrating that feeling, you know, celebrating what she knows in herself is going to happen. Very optimistic, yeah. I know your habits, but wouldn't recognize you yet. And if you believe in dreams, or what's more important. I'm so impatient, I can't stand the wait. When will I get my cuddle? Who are you? I know by now that you'll arrive, but the time I stop waiting. So it's this idea of wanting that love and missing it even though you've never had it, which I think is like so relatable, you know? Fabulous. Oh my god, love it. Oh my god, yeah, this is great. Let's go on to the penultimate song. This is Cover Me. Ooh. Ooh. Harp, a new sound for the album.
While I crawl unknown.
Oh, like Cover Me, like.
I'm going.
Sounds like she's in the forest again. They sound like little bombs dropping, doesn't it, in the background? Yeah. Wow. You get this idea that she's like almost crawling through the forest. Wow. I'm not sure if that's a harp or harpsichord.
This is really dangerous.
Wow. It's like she's, you know, risking herself. I'm not sure if it's in emotionally or artistically, creatively, maybe.
Cover me.
She's asking for support, yeah.
I'm going to relax.
I love that. That harmonic motion is so cool. And then there's like low stuff, like filtered out mostly, but like rumbling. Cool. That's almost like an intro into the last song, isn't it? So much there. The sound design. Oh my god, the sound design just fuck me. It's insane. It's beautiful, and it like takes you to such a place. I feel like I'm in the bushes with her, like in the forest, like, but there's like a war going on. Maybe it's like, you know, it's giving me like kind of forest jungle warfare, like, you know, Vietnam style jungle warfare type thing. Maybe she's, you know, like it's taking me to that place, you know. But to me, yeah, it sounds like maybe more like emotional thing, like she's like risking herself emotionally and she's asking for cover, she's asking for somebody to support her. But maybe it could be that she's risking herself creatively and she's asking for like her label to support her, you know. Maybe that's it there. But so cool. And that harp then takes you to another place that's a bit more like traditional, a bit more like romantic, a bit more, but actually more like godlike, you know. Oh my god. This album is fucking insane. I love it. I love it. It's fabulous, beautiful, and so cinematic, taking me everywhere. I love it. That's giving me like Zelda Fairy Fountain vibes, if anyone gets the reference. While I crawl into the unknown, cover me. I'm going hunting for mysteries. I'm going to prove the impossible really exists. This is really dangerous, but worth all the effort. I'm going to prove the impossible really exists. It could be musically. Yeah, let me know what you think she's talking about. Before we go into the last song, if you haven't yet subscribed and you've got this far in the reaction, then you must obviously be loving the video, so you should subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't seen, I do a Patreon, and if you really want to support me further and you are a fan of the channel, that's the best place to do so. The link's in the description for that. There's a whole bunch of benefits you can check out there. Let's go on to the last song. This is Headphones. Not sure about that giggling, bit stressful.
Genius to someone.
Ooh.
Sounds
Cool bass.
so
It is cool.
abstract, wordless.
This seems to be maybe about her approach to sound design, maybe?
These cells are virgins.
These sounds are virgins. Oh, cells.
My headphones saved my life.
Wow, me too, babe. Maybe it's about the joy in music that has given her purpose.
Everything will be the same.
I feel like this song wouldn't be the same if it was not listened to on headphones, you know? There's a lot like right in your ear, you know?
This is very interesting.
Being very playful with sound in this. That's the same for every single song, but you know what I mean? Playing with vowels, you know? Maybe it's like a song that's devoted to her favourite artist, you know? The bass is so heavy. Guessing this bit's in Icelandic again. I'm asleep. This is actually maybe the most experimental she's been on the whole album. I think that might be the point of the song, is like to push the boundaries with like sound design and mixing sound design together, and actually is a little bit more indicative of where she goes next with, is it homogenic next? Like she uses almost like the blowing on the microphone like to like almost add to it, you know? Whereas most people would try and take that sound out, you know? I like the way those drums have been cut up. It's almost like they've been cut up with the reverb on, so it kind of cuts off. Yeah, very cool. A slightly more of a low-key way to end the album, a bit more of like a kind of ambient soundscape, which is definitely where she seems to develop her music further. There's a lot more of that in later albums than in this album. Like this album seems to be much more like grounded in like definite rhythm, you know? Yeah, cool. Let's look at the lyrics for that one. Genius to fall asleep to your tape last night. Sounds go through muscles, these abstract worthless movements. Move. They start off as cells. They haven't been touched before. These cells are virgins. My headphones, they saved my life. Your tape, it lulled me to sleep. Nothing will be the same. I'm asleep, fast asleep. I like this resonance. It elevates me. I don't recognise myself. This is very interesting. So it's almost like the music that she's listening to through these headphones have seeped into her body and changed her at a cellular level. And maybe she is talking about the music that she loves almost saving her and giving her purpose and giving her inspiration, because it's like that music has invaded her body through her ears and has changed everything for her, almost like without her knowing while she's asleep, you know? And yeah, so to me this song is really giving, it seems to be more of a exploration and a song that's like almost like thanking the music that's inspired her. Maybe that's what I get from it anyway. Like, and I think like sound design wise it is much more explorative, and I think that's kind of links to that idea, you know, how sounds can change you and how they can, you know, inspire you. And that is very fitting actually, because that's the way I feel about listening to this album. Like there's so much fascinating sound design that really just like speaks to me. Like, especially the kind of cinematic nature of some of it that really takes you to that place. It really inspires me. I just think it's so wonderful. I think this might be my favourite album of hers so far, just because the rhythm and the music of it sounds a little bit more grounded and a little bit more relatable to me. And I think that's probably my only thing about Björk and like stuff I've heard in the past, is that like I really am inspired by the experimental side of it, but like I feel like it needs grounding for it to be more like listenable for me personally. But this definitely feels like it's more grounded, feels like it's more rooted, but like doesn't relinquish the experimentalism and the incredible fascinating sound design. Really, really amazing how she's managed to do that, with one exception, which is the cover. Like It's Oh So Quiet is so random. I wonder whether she put it out and then the label were like, you have to put it on the album, you know, because it's so incongruous to the rest of the album. If you take that out, like the whole album has like such a sonic journey of like starting in a place that's quite frustrated, angry, industrial, lots of, you know, harsh sounds, lots of like distortion and stuff, but it breaks away from that and brings in like some real softness and some real beauty, and using string and harp and almost like classic orchestral sounds to make it so it kind of develops into a softer place as the album kind of progresses. It definitely softens off, and lyrically it does too, because it talks more about love later on as well. And yeah, she's just the absolute master of sound design. This album for me has to be her best, I think, that I've heard so far. I just adore it. I wasn't sure if I was going to end up doing this album just because it wasn't getting loads of requests on the channel, but I'm so glad I did it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so inspiring. Like, as a music maker, it's so, I just love music. But this reminds me like that music is an infinite landscape to discover. You know, just when you think you might have heard everything, you then listen to something like this, and it reminds you, that there is no limit to the human creativity. There's no limit to what you can do with music. We can create any sound we want, and we can link it to other people in a way that takes them on a journey and takes them through a story. And it's wonderful. And yeah, it's reminding me of my love of music in total, which really goes to show like how fascinating and inspiring this album was. Amazing. I love it. Cool. Let me know what your favourite Björk album is. Let me know what I should react to next. I will be continuing on my Björk discovery. Okay, before we sign off, special thank you to my patrons. Their names are all coming up on screen now. There are many perks you can get on Patreon, and this is one of them, getting your name in the video. You can also get access to the Patreon exclusive Discord. You can also get access to my videos uncut, and you can watch them early ahead of time. You can also request song and album reactions from me as well on there, so make sure to check that all out. The link is on the screen. Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon for another video. Bye.